That's by far the best tomato soup I've ever had. Angela just killed it. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. We're in the kitchen once again, and we hope you guys are enjoying this series. We're enjoying doing it. This Homestead Kitchen Skills series, where we're going to show you how to make just normal everyday food that people buy, but the food that people buy mixes for. Food that people, depend on the grocery store for so much. We're going to show you how to make that with less from the grocery store, at least, okay? And you can still use these recipes and buy things out of the store, and that's just fine. That's not really about that. But what we are trying to do is help you be more food independent. So today, this little Blue Ridge boy is happy to tell you we're making tomato soup. It's a classic, at least in Appalachia and the Blue Ridge, I know. And Angela Kay, she's from Ohio originally, but her mom is from Tennessee. Her mom's from Appalachia as well. But tomato soup and grilled cheese. We're going to show you how to make the tomato soup, okay? You can do the grilled cheese on your own. We are. But here it is, a wonderful homemade tomato soup.
In this pot, we have started with 3 tablespoons of salted butter. And we have about a half a cup of onion sauteing in it. And I've seasoned it with just a little salt and pepper. And you want to let that go until your onion starts to get soft. And right now my onion is soft, but you don't want a lot of color on it. So you want to do this over about medium heat because you don't want a lot of color on your onion. And mine is ready right now to go to the next step. So now we are going to add 3 tablespoons of flour just to help thicken things up a little bit. Now, you want to stir that in, and you want to make a nice little roux. You want to make a paste, pretty much. You want to let this cook for about a minute or so until that raw flour taste cooks out. I gotta admit, I was never really, as a kid, I was never really a tomato soup fan. Jason changed that with me. When I met Jason and he told me how he liked it, which you will see, it was a game changer for me, and I started loving it then. So now, as you can see, that's all thick and almost like a paste now.
It smells good too.
So now we are going to add in, I am using home canned tomatoes. I'm using 2 pints, which equals a quart, of just home canned tomatoes. If you don't have your own home canned tomatoes, you can just use a 28 ounce can, one of the large cans of crushed tomatoes. You will have to put in a little less stock to go with it because it will be a little less than what I'm making here, because this is 32 ounces.
Right.
So stir that in until you see it start to thicken. See, you can see it start to thicken from that roux.
That's beautiful.
Now we are adding 3 cups of chicken stock.
Chicken stock, not broth?
Yes.
Okay.
Stock has a little more flavor.
Alright.
You want to stir that in. Now you can see it's kind of pale red right now. That's going to change.
Yeah.
Now you want to bring this up to a boil. Still over about medium heat. And then I'll show you what we do next. We have now started bubbling just a little bit. So now at this point, you want to add just a little bit of salt. I'm just adding a couple of good pinches of some salt. Now your tomatoes are probably seasoned. And your broth is salty, so you don't want to go crazy with the salt. And I'm going to add some more black pepper. Because as I found out from Jason, that is the key to really good tomato soup.
Black pepper and butter.
Yes, which we are going to add more later. And now that it's bubbling, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste.
Now that's paste out of a tube, correct?
Yes,
that's why it looks a little odd.
That's why it looks a little odd.
Yeah, that's why it looks different.
It's out of a tube.
That's an organic paste out of a tube.
Yes. Now you want to stir that in until your paste starts to break up and starts to melt in. And this is already smelling amazing. At this point, if you want it to be tomato basil soup, you can add in some dry basil. At this point, you can also, if you want to flavor it up anyway, you could add a little garlic. But I'm just making a basic tomato soup here. And I forgot to tell you before, with the chicken stock, you can choose to use vegetable broth. If you do not do meat, you can choose to do vegetable broth. It will still work out wonderful.
Hey, if you didn't have chicken stock, could you use beef stock or beef broth or whatever?
You can if you want to, but chicken broth or chicken stock will not compete with the flavor of the tomatoes. It will let the tomatoes shine. Beef broth will more compete with it because it's a stronger flavor, so it will more taste like tomato beef soup.
Which wouldn't be terrible, but that's not really what we're looking for here.
And see, now that it's come to a boil, you want to knock your heat back. You want to turn your heat back to about medium low. And at this point, you are going to let it simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then I'll show you what we do next. Look at this beautifulness right here.
It smells good too. It's still not done though, folks.
No. If you like your soup a little chunky, you can stop here and go with it a little chunky. But I personally am going to puree it till it's smooth. Why would you eat
chunky tomato soup?
I'm going to puree it till it's smooth. Now, I told you 20 to 30 minutes. You can go as much as an hour if you want to. Basically, the simmering process, the longer you simmer it, the thicker it's going to get because it's going to reduce. So if you want it a thick soup, then you will want to simmer it for longer. If you want thin soup, simmer it for less time.
Well, you can see on the sides over here how far down it's reduced on its own.
Yes.
Because those lines are like high water marks. That's where it was at, and that's where it's at now.
So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to puree it to make a nice smooth soup. Now I've turned the heat off. Now I'm going to use an immersion blender or stick blender, whichever you call it. If you don't have one, you can use just a regular blender, but remember to do it in smaller batches. Vent the top by opening the lid just a little bit and cover the top with a towel because you are dealing with hot stuff here and it can cause like a mini explosion. So now I'm going to puree it. As you can see, it's velvety smooth.
That's beautiful. Now. They did a great job.
And it's just gorgeous. Now, if you like yours creamed up and like a little bit of heavy cream in it, you can put about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of heavy cream in it right now. But this is the way we like it.
That's going to take you more towards a bisque though, right?
Yes.
If you put cream in it.
This is how we like it. Now, you don't have to do this.
No, you do have to do this.
You don't have to do this, but this is the way Jason taught me that changed my view of tomato soup.
No, you do have to do this.
This is what changed my view of tomato soup. I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of salted butter.
Some more butter.
Melt that in. If you need to turn the heat back on to get it to melt in, you can go ahead and turn the heat back on. You want to let that melt in, and you want to add lots of black pepper.
Need some good pepper.
You want to add lots of black pepper. And this was a game changer for me.
Yep.
This was a complete game changer because it completely changes the flavor. And it makes it so much better. That butter just does something to it, I gotta tell you. And serve this with a grilled cheese sandwich and some crackers.
And if you're like us and at least one of our subscribers, you're gonna put about half a pack of saltine crackers in this one. Half the whole pack of saltine crackers in your bowl. All right.
Look at that. And it smells amazing. Now you want to salt and pepper this to taste. It's up to you. It's up to your taste buds. And as you can see, that butter is all melted in and it's so velvety and so beautiful.
Yep. It's ready for eating.
Yes, it is.
Alright, y'all. I ain't got no crackers in it yet, but I'm gonna taste this mug. Hope I don't burn myself. It's delicious. Oh my gosh. Look at that. You can see it very well or not. Looks a little orange not light, but wow, it's so good. That's amazing. That's by far the best tomato soup I've ever had. Angela just killed it. Those fresh canned tomatoes, all the butter and pepper. Oh, I nearly don't even need the crackers. Just to be honest with you. Now,
That's saying a lot.
now it's blasphemous because I'm putting them crackers in there anyways, but I really don't necessarily need them if you're not that big of a deal on them. Just dip that grilled cheese in there. Oh gosh. Again, this Blue Ridge boy is gonna be happy. So I'm gonna get me some sweet tea and I'm gonna turn this thing off. So thank you guys for watching. We do appreciate it. My name is Jason. That's Angela K. Art of Creation Homestead. Love you guys. God bless you and goodbye.
Needless to say, that's going in the blooper reel.
Bloopers.
You will never go back to the can again.
That sounded weird.
Needless to say, that's going in the blooper reel.
Bloopers.